Hi, my name's Joe Ensley, and today on Things Jesus Said, I'd like to look at a passage found in John, chapter 1, verse 48. How do you know me? Nathanael asked. Before Philip called you, when you were under the fig tree, I saw you, Jesus answered. Alright, so what's going on here? Nathan has been told by Philip, you need to see the Son of God. So Nathan's response is not super willing. Nathan confirms his status as a cynic. Nathan makes a couple of claims early in their passage. He talks about the son of Joseph, and he talks about Jesus as coming from Nazareth. So we know that Jesus actually was born in Bethlehem, and Joseph wasn't his father. Joseph was more like an earthly adopted dad status, or foster dad even, because God was Jesus' father. So he's kind of denying where Jesus came from and Jesus' dad already. So we know one thing about Nathanael. If Jesus walks by and says, hey, quit fishing, I'll make you a fisher of men, Nathanael ain't coming. This guy's a confirmed cynic. In fact, Jesus, when he sees Nathanael approaching, he says, that is an Israelite indeed. I'm not even sure what that means, but I know that Jesus recognized his character. He realized that this guy wasn't going to bluff with him. He wasn't going to fake his way through. Nathan was a what you see is what you get kind of guy. When Jesus says this is an Israelite indeed, which we think means Nathan wasn't a bluffer or a deceiver. He was just an upfront dude. When Jesus says, here's an Israelite indeed, Nathan says, how do you know me? Which in 2020 would be like, you don't know me. Jesus answers Philip and says, I saw you under the fig tree. I don't know what happened under the fig tree. I want to know what you think happened under the fig tree. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you my best guess as to what happened under that fig tree. But when Jesus looks at Nathan and he says, I saw you under the fig tree, Nathan, confirmed cynic, already didn't believe Jesus, says, you are the Son of God. Big deal here. Big deal. Jesus knew exactly what to say to Nathan to help Nathan recognize that he was who he said. So we get to see a cynic go to a believer like that just because Jesus said the right thing. So I love studying the things Jesus said. There's some power there. There's some power in what Jesus says because he knows what to say and how to say it. Now, let's talk about that fig tree for a second. If you're watching this, I'd like you to go to the comments later and tell me, what do you think happened under the fig tree? My guess, looking at the early times, we know that sometimes people would pray or meditate and relax under the fig tree. Now, based on my experience, and this is just a guess, I've had some times where I've just cried out to God. A lot of times this is in my car. I can think of a bridge one time I did it under. I've done it under some trees when I've just cried out to God and had a personal conversation. I think Nathan was under that fig tree and asked God, do you even see me right now? Or something like that, in a lot of distress. And Jesus was picking up that conversation with him as God who knew him. But I don't know. That's just a guess. I want you to tell me what you think happened under that fig tree. And if you've got some information or some resources I don't have, please send them my way. The application from this is that, one, we know Jesus knows our character. When he saw Nathan coming, he said, this is an Israelite indeed. And whatever that statement meant exactly in those times, Jesus knew his character before he even met the guy. Because he knows him, because he's an eternal God. Also, we know that if Jesus can see Nathanael under the fig tree, and that no one else had seen Nathanael under the fig tree, not even Philip, then Jesus can see us even when no one sees us. Jesus knows us, he sees us, and he loves us. In fact, if I close my eyes, I could almost hear that as a song.
I fully know and loved by you.
Anyway, maybe it'll come to me later. Jesus sees Nathanael, Jesus knows Nathanael, and Jesus loves Nathanael. Jesus loves you, he knows you, and he sees you too.